I'm Anthony Jones, and this is the Always Elevating Podcast. And there's so many great point guards. I'm gonna give you 3 names.
Okay.
I want you to put them in order.
Okay.
Lance Stone, Marcus Blackwell, Luke Westerdale. Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic?
That's tough.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Anthony Jones. I go by the name of AJ. I'm a licensed realtor. So if you need a house, make sure you contact me. Residential, commercial, I do it all. This is presented to you by my nonprofit, AJ's Automatic Jumper Foundation. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to have a lot of talented, interesting people on the podcast. This is the very first episode of Always Elevating, and I have a special guest. This young man was the MVP of his high school team, Motor City Roundball MVP, Mitten Prep Hoops first team, News Herald first team, Detroit News All Area West, Detroit News Free Press All State, D-Zone MHSAA Player of the Year candidate, All Catholic League, Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan First Team All State, Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan Academic All State, which I love. He helped lead his team to the Breslin. He averaged 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. He can play the pick and roll. He can shoot the ball from anywhere on the court. He can attack the basket and finish or facilitate to his teammates. And he coaches his younger brother's AAU squad. One of my favorite players out of Gabriel Richard High School. We got Luke Westerdale in the building, man. What's going on,
What's up, Coach?
bro?
Thank you.
Appreciate you being on the show. Now, before we get started, I'm going to have a lot of guests come on every week, and I'm going to give them a gift.
Okay.
So I got a little something for you. So it's just one of my t-shirts with my logo on it. You can hold that up.
Oh, yeah.
That applies to you because you can't shoot it, so.
Thank you.
All right, so I want to just get straight into it. We got a lot to go over. I want to start with your childhood.
Okay.
I'm a big believer that, who raises you, how you was raised, where you were raised, things like that. That's very important. My granny raised me, and she was very significant in my life, and I am who I am today because of her. So just talk to me about your childhood, who raised you, where you was raised, and, just your childhood overall.
I was raised by my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Groseal.
Okay.
I have 3 younger siblings, 13-year-old brother, which you know about, Max, he can hoop. Yeah. And then I have a 7-year-old brother who's going to be good. And then a 1-year-old baby sister, the first girl of the family, which is going to be good. And then, I was always an athlete. I played baseball, basketball, football, soccer. And then I really started to love basketball. I fell in love with Trey Burke. That was like my first player I really started to love. Yeah. And my mom, real close with Tom Izzo. She was a recruiting coordinator for Michigan State in college.
Wow.
So she's always been big in Michigan State. Okay. And my grandpa flies with the Michigan State team for basketball sometimes. So basketball's always been big in my family. But I just fell in love with it from watching him. That's why I wear number 3. Okay. And that's really just been implemented into my life since a young age. But it's me and my dad definitely have like a love-hate relationship. We go at it. Good games, he loves me. Bad games, we go at it. Okay. But my mom's always there, and she's always just like, "You're good. You'll have a good next game."
So what age did you first started playing basketball, and who introduced you to the game of basketball? Was it your dad?
It was my mom, actually. My mom kind of got me signed up in some leagues. My dad wasn't even really super interested in me playing at first.
Wow.
And then she was just like, "Mike, he's really good." So then he would come watch me, and I was always good since a young age. And then they would come and they would watch, they'd be like, "Yeah, he is good." So then he started to come, and then that's when he started to coach me when I was in like 3rd grade. Okay. And then from that, it really took off. He started coaching my AAU team, the 313 Hot Boys, in about 6th grade. And then after that, it took off.
Wow.
Yep.
So talk to me about middle school. When I was in middle school, I had so much fun, like just with my classmates on and off the court. I had a ton of fun in middle school. So talk to me about your middle school life on and off the court.
So my middle school was different. I didn't hang out much off the court with my friends. It was more just strictly on the court. It was I grinded heavy. That was where it was. With the whole COVID year too, it was a lot of staying in the house. And it was just a lot of working. That's when I played with the Bates team. My dad coached, and then I moved and I played with 2025 Bates team with Coach Ryan Sidney and that team was really good. We were number 3 in the country at one point, so it was just I was in the gym every day, and so there wasn't really much time for school, and we had 2 years without school, so yeah.
Wow. So when did you know that you were really good in the game of basketball? I know in middle school, that my 7th grade year, I think I had like over 50 points. And after that game, everyone was coming up to me like, oh my God, you had 50. So after that time, I knew that I was like, man, I can really do something with the game of basketball. When was your moment? When did you know that you were just like really good at the game of basketball?
Well, I always loved it, and that was probably number 1 for me. It was just so much fun to play. But when I got to about 12, 13, I mean, I would play with some of my friends once in a while, like hang out with them, and I mean, I would just dominate. And then then when I would go play in like AAU and in middle school, I was always real good. But I don't know. I would say right before middle school, like 5th, 6th grade. Because, I mean, that was all I did. From 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade to now. All I've done is basketball.
So were you doing anything else? Like you say you were just only doing basketball. Was it only basketball? You mentioned that you did baseball, soccer, things like that?
I played baseball in 5th and 6th and 7th grade a little bit. But, I mean, no. Since about 4th grade, it's been basketball.
Focused on basketball. So tell me, why Gabriel Richard High School? Did your parents, did they make you go there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my mom went to Gabriel Richard, and I was gonna go to Orchard Lake. That was out. I went down there with Trey, and I was close to going there. They set up a good deal for me to go there. They really wanted me to go there, but the coach down here, Coach Dyack, he was like, we want Luke bad. He's a good chance he'll start as a freshman. And they had a really good team. And that's where I was just kind of like, yeah, it's 12 minutes away from my house. So it was easy, and I'm happy I made that decision.
So talk to me about your coach. What is something that, that he told you that's, some good advice that he gave you, or, describe your relationship with him.
We're very, just like similar to my dad, we're very love-hate. We have great days, good practices. He'll be super happy with me. And then the next day, I'll have a bad defensive practice, and he'll be super mad at me. So he loves the way I can score the ball, I pass the ball. And he's really changed me where when I came in as a freshman, I was much more like, I really showed off, and I was like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And I would score and I would celebrate, where he really fixed me to where now I don't brag. You just kind of go, you get the job done. And I feel like that's one thing that he's instilled in me that's really benefited me.
Okay, so is he the primary reason why you went to Gabriel Richard High School?
Yeah, I would say the coach and just my mom and my dad. They thought it was going to be a good fit for me.
Okay. So talk to me about, we talked about middle school. So the transition from middle school to high school, I think that's a big difference because, kids are driving to school, they have facial hair. It's just totally different, from middle school to high school. So just talk to me about the transition from your 8th grade to your 9th grade year, and on and off the court.
Yeah, so off the court, actually, it was the biggest transition for me for the first time, because it was like my first real non-basketball experiences, like going to football games and hanging out with people. And like everyone at the school had already kind of heard of me going there, so they were all kind of like, Luke Westerdale, Luke Westerdale. So like it was kind of like dealing with that, and they would like make like jokes, and they'd be like, he's not going to be that good. And kids from other schools around the area and stuff. So that was fun, and that was definitely different to deal with. But on the court, I had 3 really good seniors on my team that I went into, so I knew we were going to be good, and I knew that there was also 2 spots that I could fight for and earn as a freshman. So that was my main and majority focus at the start of my freshman year, was to earn one of those spots.
That's great. So talk to me about AAU versus high school. I do polls on Instagram, and I ask, kids about that. So talk to me about just the differences between, AAU and high school basketball.
Yeah, it's night and day different. I mean, I feel like in high school, it's much more like you got to play defense every play. It's like you got to sit down, you got to win the game. Where like in AAU, it's a lot of you can showcase your talents, you have more freedom, you can do what you want. AAU, you're going to score more, you're going to have more fun with stuff like that. But in high school, it's more winning as a team, coming together. Especially like where I go, I play on one of the top AAU teams too, the academy. Real good. Charles, Stevie, a lot of top players. But it's a lot more of like, if I don't have a good game in AAU, I know multiple of my teammates can step up. Where like in high school, you can't have a bad game. If you're not hitting shots, you still have to play defense, rebound, move the ball.
Right.
So that's probably the biggest difference.
Okay. So you mentioned Stevie. I know he's a close friend of yours, on and off the court. You mentioned that you play with him of AAU with the academy. Just talk about your relationship with him on and off the court.
I've played with Stevie since 5th grade. My dad coached him on the 3-on-3 Hot Boys. I was actually class of 2024, and he was one of the main people that convinced me to reclass in the class of 2025 to play with him. And we've been, me and him talked to Coach Jordan Ebbs, the academy coach, and we were like, well, we want to set up the academy. And so me and him really set it up, and we've really taken off from it. It's definitely been one of the bigger things that's happened to us.
So how long has the academy been in existence?
It's definitely been in existence for a while, but there wasn't a 2025 team. So me and Stevie looked at it and we were like, hey, Coach, we're ready to play on the 2025 team. And Coach was like, oh, well, we'll take you.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So take me through like a typical day of your life. I know you have school, obviously, so let's do, November, let's say November 9th on a Tuesday. Take me through that, and then let's say like during the summer where there's no school, like in June, like a Tuesday in June. Just take me through a typical day.
So on like a random November, wake up, go to school. I got weights, class B period, so I'll either be shooting or lifting for my B period. Then you go to lunch. I talk to my coach a lot throughout the day because he's the athletic director. So I'll probably go down, talk to him, talk about the season, talk about coaches and stuff. And then after school, I'll lift. Then I'll shoot at my school. Then I'll go home and I'll work out with my dad at my house.
Okay, so pretty much school and basketball.
And then I'll go mess with my brothers downstairs, play some basketball with them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did I get it right that you guys, do you have any seniors on your team right now?
This year we had one senior.
One senior?
But no, we're this
pretty much underclassmen that you had. So talk to me about, you made it to the Breslin. Obviously, that was a great accomplishment. Talk to me about next season and what you think you guys can do, because I know you're excited about it.
Yeah, this is my favorite conversation. Next season, we're coming for it all. We want to win the state championship. That was the goal this year. And I mean, I don't know if you saw, but we were really close. The kid hit the one corner shot at the buzzer. But
we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, the team that we beat the team that won the state championship, Niles Brandywine, at the round ball. So we definitely feel like we're bringing back all 5 starters for the final 12 games of the season, and we're ready to go. We all know our role. We got me and my other guard, Nick Sobush. He's been a captain. Me and him both been captains. This is gonna be our 3rd year. Charles Cage, the center that I brought up earlier, he's 6'9". He's one of the best centers in Michigan. We're coming and we're ready to go.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Oh yeah.
So talk to me about the best player that you faced. Let's just say this past season, the best player individually that you went up against.
At high school?
At high school. At high school.
Probably, TJ Nadu from Catholic Central. He had a good game against us.
Yeah.
He lit us up.
Yeah. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
he's a great shooter too.
Yeah, he hit 8 threes against us.
Oh my
and
God.
That was our first loss of the season. That was right after we beat Summit. We were coming in on a high horse, and they beat us pretty good. That was not our best game.
Wow. So you're a top player, you're one of the top players, and not only in the class of 2025, but the state of Michigan. So do you feel any pressure, going into the games? Everyone know that, you're that guy and you provide a lot of offensive power. Yeah. Do you feel any pressure when you step on that court, especially in a big game?
Yeah. Well, the big game's much more. When you walk out there and you see that it's a full packed crowd, and it's like, all right, I gotta play, because if you don't play, you're not gonna win. Right. So that comes with it. But a lot of the games I show up and it's just kind of like, all right, look, this is what you do. You gotta go do it again. But definitely, when we were playing Summit, when we were playing, in the Breslin, looking around and seeing, and you're like, whoa, I'm really here. Right. That was crazy. So yeah, that game I was extremely nervous.
Okay. So does rankings, I want to talk about rankings. I see a lot of, I think you were rated number 10, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was MI Hoops.
Yeah.
I think they had you number 10. Does rankings matter to you? Let's say you were ranked 30th or something like that. They just totally disrespect you in the class of 2025. how do you feel about the rankings?
When it's a good ranking, I'll put it on my story and be like, thank you, and I like it. And when it's a bad one, I'll probably send it to my friends like Stevie, and we'll be joking around about it.
Yeah.
But no, they don't matter too much because
Okay.
there's so many of them where there's going to be good ones and bad ones. It's just people on how they feel about you and your play style.
Right. That's a great answer. So I talk to a lot of people. I'm a basketball guy. I'm a competitive guy. I talk to so many different people. And a lot of people tell me that, and this is older people, they say that the kids these days are not as competitive, like back when we played, let's say 15, 20 years ago. Because, social media, you all connected, so talk to me about, do you feel like, if it's your friend, let's say Stevie, you say you had to go through him to get to the Breslin, for example, like, how do you feel about that competition?
I mean, I'd rather die than lose. Like, it's like, we're competitive. I mean, we're playing out there, especially in the tournament. Every team you play against, it's like you feel like it's their last game. Especially when you play a team full of seniors and it's their last ever basketball game. It's very competitive. We played against Old Redford, and I mean, they were going at it. We were going at it. The score was 38-38 with 2 minutes left, and we're two of the higher scoring teams in Michigan.
Right.
So, like, it was a very defensive game, and it was just that simple. It was who got rebounds, extra balls, jump balls. So that was a big thing, and definitely I feel like it's extremely competitive, especially in the bigger games, too.
Talk to me about, I know we touched on it earlier as far as your team, you're excited for next year. So talk to me about your team goals for next year and also your individual personal goals that you have in high school.
Okay, I don't want to get too much on the individual goals. I've hit a lot of them this year. There's some big ones. I would love to be, just keep being acknowledged as a top player in the state of Michigan, keep showing off the work that I've been putting in off the court, and team goal is to win the state championship. We've gotten as close as we could, and it's time to really finish the job.
Okay. Speaking on personal goals, is playing Division I, is that very important to you? Because I know a lot of kids back when I was playing, like that was all they wanted to do was play Division I. So
yeah, I mean, Division I's always been my goal. I'll go wherever I feel like I'm wanted the most, but yeah, Division I's definitely been a goal of mine.
Okay. So I know that you said earlier that you almost went to Orchard Lake. You almost went to Old Lake with Trey McKinney. So let's just say your parents said, hey, you have to change schools. You have to change schools. You have to pick another school to go to. Would it be Old Lake, or do you have any other school that you would, if you had to pick one school that you have to go to?
I would maybe go to Belleville, actually. My friend Braylon goes there. He's a 6'8" big man from and I would go there, play with him, and I feel like we'd be a good combo, but I don't know. I like the school that I'm at right now. Okay,
that sounds good. Now, I'm very curious. I'm about to ask you a question. I'm very curious to get your answer.
Okay.
So, I've been to so many different games last season, and one thing that it really irks me, is no shot clock. In Michigan. So talk to me about, because it just changes everything. If you have a higher IQ, it can help you out. So just talk to me about, there's no shot clock in Michigan. What do you think about that?
I think that it'd be better with a shot clock. We're going to play in NY2LA circuit this year, and we're going to have a shot clock. So I've never played with one yet, and I'm excited to play with one for the first time. I think it'll be fun. But I definitely think it'd be better. We played against Cass Tech this year, and we were down 4 with about 6 minutes left in the game.
Stall ball.
And CJ and Derek stood up there, and they dribbled out the whole clock. And we ended up losing by 6. I think there was only like 8 points scored in the whole fourth quarter. So they stalled us, and they beat us. And I would definitely like if there was a shot clock in games like that for sure.
I swear, if I was a millionaire, I would put shot clocks in every school in Michigan. Now, like I said, I've been to over 25, 30 games this past season. I talk with parents, coaches, fans, etc. And it's one thing that they complain about a lot in high school basketball. So I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
High school referees, the officiating. I want you to talk to me. And this is not the NBA, so you're not going to get fined if you say something bad. But just talk to me about, the high school referees.
Yeah, I mean, they can be bad. like I feel like when you're home, you're obviously gonna get more calls because your coach knows the refs.
Right.
When you go on the road, especially to like schools like Detroit Loyola, that's a real gym where it's like they're used to playing more physical. Where like that gym, I mean, you're gonna have to deal with bumps. But then you go play like at our house, there's gonna be much more fouls. Where like Summit came to our place and we won the foul count by like 12, but then we go out and we play a couple other teams on the road and we're like, oh my God, there's been 4 fouls all game and we're not used to that as much. So I think it just depends on who the refs are. We've had obviously some bad refs, but I haven't had any like just serious complaints.
Okay. Do you have any pre-game routines or any superstitions? You know, some people say if I wear this color sock or this color underwear, anything like that. Do you have any pre-game routines that you stick to, or
for like a high school game?
Yeah, just a high school
game.
Or AAU, either one.
So for a high school game, if it's a home game, especially those are the easiest. We get out at 2:50. We'll do film and walk through till about 3:30, and then I'll shoot. Just get form shots, then just around the key with Drew Everingham. He's on my team. He's a great shooter. We'll do that for about 45 minutes. Shoot till about 4:15. Then I'll go and I'll just hang out with my friends. Nothing crazy. Just go get food. And we'll do that till about 5:30. Come back, watch freshman game, watch JV game, and then we're ready. I always have the same stretch routine I do before every game and the same dribble routine I do before every game in the locker room too.
Okay. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge LeBron fan. On and off the court, I just like everything that he does. He does things for the community. He has a school. You know, he's a great, person. He's a great father. Things like that. Talk to me about, do you have any role model, whether it's someone that you know or a celebrity, like a athlete?
I would say that's probably my dad actually. He's a real. He can be mad when he needs to be mad, and he's happy when stuff's going good. Where like when you need to like lock in and focus and figure it out, there's no jokes, there's no playing around, and I like that. And he'll really focus and push you to the finish line. But like when stuff's going good and after like a good win, he'll be the first one to celebrate. So I like that, and I think that that's something that I can work on too. Not always being happy or also not always being mad. To have some fun and to really be focused and locked in.
So it seems like he has the perfect balance.
He does
the
have a
perfect
good
balance.
balance.
That's great. That's great. Social media. When I played, we didn't have social media. You got comments. You got millions, thousands of people having, different type of opinions. How do you handle, social media and everyone's different opinions?
So when I played on that Bates team with Trey, Sherrod, Jaden, Mac, my account kind of blew up. And then my first year with Academy, coming back in 9th grade, it really shot up. I won Offensive Player of the Year for NY2LA for the whole country. And after that, I hit, I think, like 10.5 thousand followers.
Wow.
So that's when it was like, it was much more than like a lot of people my age had as a freshman. So it was definitely different. The social media stuff is, I don't look into it too much. I post when I do good stuff, and when I have a bad game, I just stay off social media, and I just like to focus. So, I don't look too much into it. I kind of just do like what the average kid does.
Okay. So I think it was the class of 2029, if I can remember correctly. It was one kid I was on his social media, and I seen an adult, he was saying something negative about the kid, about his game. You know? And I seen the kid responded to him. He said, "You a grown man, and you responding, you saying something negative." So how would you handle a comment like that? A grown man, he's 40, 50 years old, and he's saying something negative on your page. Would you just ignore it?
About me?
About you.
I would let it slide. I mean, if you're commenting on my post as a grown man, you got better things to do. So, I mean, if you're commenting on like kids who are 10 years old, then I get if like a parent joins in and it's like, you shouldn't be talking about 10-year-olds. But like my age, juniors, seniors, I mean, I don't have nothing to say back. So my granny raised me, like I said earlier, and she always preached to me have a backup plan. If basketball doesn't work out, she didn't care about that. She cared about education. So, God forbid something happens, you can't play basketball. What would be your backup plan? If you wasn't playing basketball, what would you be doing? So that's one reason I chose Gabriel Richard. Great school, great education. I have a real good GPA, so I I'd go to a good college, and then I would just figure out my grandpa's in politics. I could get into that. My dad owns a couple businesses with my other grandpa, so I could definitely get into that too.
Okay.
Definitely one of those things. Yeah, I have a couple backup plans.
What type of businesses is it that your dad does?
They own storage facilities.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's great. So with that being said, in the next, let's say 5 to 6 years,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself? You're going to be graduating?
Yeah.
You're going to graduate high school, graduate college. Where do you see yourself in about 5 to 6 years?
I mean, I could see myself coaching. I could see myself still playing if I'm lucky enough. I'm not in any rush to graduate college. I could see me redshirting and then maybe using a transfer year.
Right.
Like I'll play 6, 7 years in college if need
Okay.
be. Where like I'm not too concerned about like how quick I graduate. I just want to have fun with it, and then I could own my own business. But whatever I do, I just want to make sure that I like what I'm doing.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I don't feel like you're underrated. I
Yeah.
don't feel like that. I feel like people know that you can play, but I kind of feel like, maybe you underlooked a little bit, or you're not talked about as much as you should be. This is just from my vantage point. Do you feel that you get all the recognition and everything that you deserve?
I feel like I've definitely gotten a good amount of it, and I'm very blessed to receive the amount that I have. God's definitely been very good to me, but I don't know. I haven't really ever looked at it like that. I would agree that there's some things that it's like, oh wow, okay, I'm not on that. I'm not on that either, okay.
Yeah.
But like overall, I would say that I've been very lucky in my time, and especially in high school since I've been playing.
Okay. I want to talk about Michael Jordan. I know you see the shoes. I know you wasn't old enough to watch him, when he was playing.
Yeah.
I did. So I'm pretty sure you went back, watched YouTube, and did research, things like that. It's always these debates and stuff. Just talk to me about, what do you think? I'm just so curious, as a young
LeBron or
kid,
Jordan?
What do you think about just only Michael Jordan? What do you think about him?
I love how he was as just a straight up competitor.
Yeah.
That's one thing that him and Kobe had that no one else had. They just wanted to win, and that's one thing that I respect. I love going into a game with my team and looking at it and being like, our only goal is just to go win the game.
Yeah.
There's nothing more fun than a game like that.
Right. So who is currently your favorite NBA player?
I mean, it was Curry for the longest, but it might be Ant now. He's fun to watch.
He's amazing. He definitely amazing.
Yeah.
And he's ascending right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting better and better, and he wants it. He got that old school mentality. So, favorite team, favorite NBA team.
Favorite NBA team? Maybe probably the Warriors still. Or the Pistons. I love the Pistons. It'd be cool to see the Pistons finally win.
Yeah.
But I like always watching the Warriors grow up and dominate.
Okay. Is it just because of the style of play that they have?
Yeah, I love the Warriors style of play.
Okay.
The fast tempo, shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a lot of great shooters in high school. Regardless of class, you got yourself, you got Lance. We were talking about him earlier. You got Trey McKinney, you got Leroy Blyden Jr., you got Phoenix Glasnow. There's so many great shooters in high school. I want to ask you, who was the best shooter in high school, in your opinion?
Ooh. I mean, I definitely think I can shoot with the best of them. I've played against a lot of good shooters. There's a real, if you're talking about mid-range, I've played against kids who hit tough, contested mid-ranges in my faces. But from three, I would definitely say that I'm up there for a top three-point shooter in the state of Michigan.
Okay, so before I play every game, I would be like a little nervous, anxious, before I play in the games, and then like 2 to 3 minutes, I'll settle in and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So are you nervous before any of your games?
Not as much this year, but the Breslin game, definitely I was like, wow. Just walking out there, we walked into the gym about an hour early when the game before us was going on. Niles Brandywine was playing, and I looked and I saw the crowd, and there was probably 4,000 people there, and it was packed. And I was just like, wow. And there was like student sections, whole cities were there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, this is what I'm about to play in. So I was definitely real nervous because that's like what I worked my whole life for, was to play in that one game.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to that.
Yeah, it seems like when I go to the Breslin, I always think, I'm like, these guys got to be nervous. Like, this is a huge stage, that you're playing on. Talk to me about you're in Division III, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about the differences, or do you think it's any differences with Division I, Division II? Do you think you can compete with the Division I?
I think we would definitely be. We've beaten multiple. Our first game of the year, we beat Division I school by 30, Trenton, and we've beaten multiple Division I schools. And Division II last year, the Summit made it to the state semifinal, and we beat Summit. So I definitely think that we could compete in both of them. But it definitely, there's a lot of real good Division I and Division II schools, where I definitely feel like Division III is a not I would say easier, but it's definitely doable for us to go win it next year for sure.
So what's the best team that you played against this past high school year? The best team.
Cass Tech was tough because they lost Cheeks, Darius, and they came into GR and beat us without him. And their defense is real impressive. Catholic Central was real good, and then playing Old Redford was definitely. All three of those teams have real good trap defenses, on-ball pressure, and that was probably our biggest issue this year, was dealing with stuff like that. So probably one of those three teams.
So if you played, because I know Coach Hall from Cass, I know what they do. I know they're going to press you. They're going to be physical. If you had to meet them next year, let's say, preseason or a regular season game, would you be prepared for them?
Definitely, for sure. Sometimes you can use teams like that and players like that, aggressiveness against them, get them in foul trouble. By the end of the game, we really figured that out. And I think I shot 6 free throws in the fourth quarter alone. So I was able to figure that out. And I feel like that's one thing I would do different against a team like that, is I would just let them ride me, let them get all up on me. And I would just draw fouls, draw foul, get to the free throw line.
So one thing that's very exciting for a high school athlete is, taking visits in college. I know that you had several visits in colleges. So just kind of talk to me about, the process, how it got started, and then how did you enjoy those visits that you went to?
Okay, I'm gonna name some of the schools.
Yeah.
Okay, so my freshman year, Stevie was good friends with the Eastern coach, and the Eastern coach reached out to me too. So my freshman summer, I went on an Eastern visit. And then
how did you like that Eastern in Michigan? Because a lot of people I know they have fun.
Eastern was definitely cool, fun atmosphere, and I got to watch a football game, and that was definitely fun, especially as a freshman. It was so cool. And then I went to Lake Superior State. That was cool. It's far away, but I love the campus, cool area. And then this most recent year, I went to Purdue Fort Wayne. That's Division I in the Horizon. I love their play style, great play style. Then I went to Columbia. That's Ivy League. That's been one that's real big on me, and I definitely love that school a lot. That's one of my main ones. And then recently I went to Toledo. Went to watch a game out at Toledo. That was a good one. That was a fun one.
Did you see what's the kid's name that just went there?
Sonny.
Did you see him up there?
Yeah.
Great player.
Great
player. So are those the only schools that's recruiting you now? Is there any others that's recruiting you?
Yeah, I've had a real good amount of Division I's been just reaching out recently, but
keeping an eye on you.
Just kind of saying, "Hey, Luke, we're watching you." Yeah. But those are the main ones that I've been in contact with frequently.
I think this senior year you're gonna get a lot of coaches that's contacting you. Okay, so one question I'm gonna ask you that I wouldn't want to answer.
Yeah.
Your worst sports performance, your worst game that you ever had.
Oh, I got a good answer for this. My freshman year, I was starting on varsity. My first ever game, I had 0 points. And I shot 0 for 6. And my whole school was there, and they were excited to see me and see me come out and play for the first time. And it was just not my day.
Well, it's good that it was your first game.
Yeah.
If it was your last game of the regular season, it would have been bad. But since it was your first game, it's okay. Now, we have to talk about something that, you're not really going to want to talk about, but I have to ask you the question. You make it to the Breslin Center, which is a big accomplishment, and you're facing Old Redford.
Yes.
So I think, like you said, the game was tied. I believe you guys, I don't know if it was you who scored.
I went there and
you got the layup.
Yep.
You put you guys up 2 points.
Yes.
Come back down, I think it's 20 seconds or something
13.8.
13.8. He knows exactly the number.
Time.
So it's 13.8 seconds. They go down. They get to the free throw line.
Yeah.
Make one free throw.
Yeah.
Miss the second. It goes out of bounds. So it's about 2
seconds.
2 seconds on the clock. They inbound the ball, and they hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer. Just talk to me about that game and especially the ending of how, that's a heartbreaking loss. So talk to me about that.
That's a tough way to go out. Yeah. I mean, my whole life I've dreamed of getting to that point, watching other teams play from like 1990s, 2000s, in the Breslin, in the semifinals, in the finals, and to finally be there and live it out was super cool. It was fun. To have that layup, to be able to show to like friends, family, that was really cool.
That was clutch.
Oh yeah, that was real cool.
Yeah.
I was this close to having that be the layup to send us to the state championship, but I think that when they shot the free throw and it got tipped, I thought that it was out on them. Right. I still will debate that. But when they hit the shot, it was good contest he hit a good shot.
That was, I don't even know what else. He was all over him.
Yeah.
He was draped all over him.
That was a good shot. I mean, you just kind of got to live with that. When he shot, I was like, wow, we're going to the state championship. And then when I watched it go in, there was nothing really to do. I was just kind of like, wow.
Yeah. Tell me, what did your coach, like, what did he, in the locker room, what did he say after that game?
He kind of felt for us. He's definitely happy that we all have one more year together. And he looked at all of us and he was like, we'll be back next year and we're going to win it all.
Yeah. So it's a lot of great point guards in the class of 2025.
Yes.
Yourself, we talked about Landstone, Moses, Marcus Blackwell, Leroy Blight. I mean, there's so many great point guards. I'm going to give you 3 names.
Okay.
I want you to put them in order.
Okay.
Landstone, Marcus Blackwell, Luke Westerdale. You got to put these 3 in order.
I mean, I'm always a big believer in being confident. So, I'll do.
Let's do who's third. Let's go.
Third.
Let's work our.
I just like to look at who wins. So I'd probably put. Marcus won the state championship. Yeah. So I'll probably put Lance third, then Marcus, then me. Okay. But I mean, that's just me being confident. Both of those players are real good players.
If I asked them the same question, of course they should put themselves number one. So I like watching all 3 of you guys. So that's why I had to ask the question. With that being said, I want you to give me your top 5 high school players. Okay. Currently.
I'll go that I've like seen. Or do you want me to count me in that or no?
Don't count yourself in. Don't count yourself in. Don't count any seniors right now.
Okay, class 2025?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely Cheeks is in there. He's tough. Yeah. Play against him. I always played against him growing up. Yeah. When he was on Reach and I was on Bates, played him a lot.
He's one of my favorite players to watch, and like you, he has a very high IQ.
Oh, yeah.
Very great player.
Trey, real good mid-range.
Yeah.
He's
That's
definitely a tough player.
Yeah.
I'll go with Stevie. I know he's not regarded as like the top by some people, but I mean he's a real good player.
He's really good. I hope I can get him on the podcast. Oh, yeah. He's definitely a really good player. I watch him a lot. Yeah.
I'll go.
So that's 3 right there. We got Trey, we got Cheeks, and we got Stevie.
Okay.
That's 3. We're not including you. So who? 2 more.
I'll go. Some people that I'll do. Since you just brought them up, Marcus. They just won the state championship. Yeah, so when you win the state championship,
you got to get some extra.
That definitely gives you like that respect that you deserve. And then one more player that I think is definitely a good player. I'll do. I mean, you brought up Lance. I was watching him the other weekend. For how small he is, he can hoop. Man, he's so quick, good jump shot. So I'll just throw him in there too.
Yeah, Lance is definitely a great player. I definitely look forward to having him. So tell me your top 5 NBA players. Let's assume, I know it's so tough, but let's assume that everyone is 100% healthy.
Okay.
Everyone is 100% healthy.
In their prime too? Or just healthy right now?
Just right now, who's, your top 5 right now?
Okay, I got Ant up there.
Yep.
Luka.
Yep.
I got LeBron. I mean, LeBron's so good. Yeah. And then I got the Joker.
Yeah.
And that's then 4. Probably.
So you did it pretty quick. So you got Ant.
Yeah.
You got
Luka.
LeBron and Joker.
And then I'll probably throw Curry in there. He changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just by him being on the court, you're gonna get an open shot, layup, dunk, or 3.
Or the driving lanes will be open because they can't help from Steph.
Exactly. So we're going to go into a segment now called Elevate Your Game.
Okay.
So the name of the podcast is Always Elevating. And I'm big on, improving, perfecting my craft, getting better, adding to the toolbox. I played basketball overseas. I came back, I was mentoring the youth. I got into real estate. I'm a licensed realtor. Then I started doing events for the community. I got this podcast going. So I'm always adding to the toolbox. So I want you to tell me, as a basketball player, we always want to get better. So tell me, if you have a weakness or if it's just something that you want to
Okay.
just get better at. After you tell me that, I'm going to give you some constructive criticism or a piece of advice.
I would definitely like to add to my mid-range game. I can shoot well from three, and I attack and I finish well, and I make some good decisions with the ball, passing-wise. But I would definitely like to be able to have a quick mid-range pull-out that I haven't fully developed yet. And then definitely just on-the-ball defense. It's definitely not bad, but to play like at the level that I want to play at, as this point guard, you got to be a great on-the-ball defender.
Yeah, and it's just about effort too, because they say Luka, they say that that's his biggest, thing that they talk about. He don't play, but when he actually tries to do it, he can do it. So it's just about effort. So I would want to give you some constructive criticism. What I would say is, and I think you brought up some good points.
Okay.
I would say get a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
You want to get a little bit stronger because, and I was so skinny when I was in high school, because when you putting up 20, 30 points like you can do, the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to get more physical with you.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to bump you and they're going to try to frustrate you and things like that. I went to the Breslin. It wasn't last year, but it was the year before when Old Lake, they lost to Muskegon.
Yes.
And they were just super physical with Trey.
Yeah.
Like, they were just so aggressive with him. So that's the next thing. When it's a great player, they want to get physical with you.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would say. And also what I would tell everyone, take care of your body.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are, you're doing yoga, you're stretching 2-3 times a day. You want to eat healthy. That's very important because as I got older, I had injuries. I wouldn't recover as quicker because I wasn't eating, the way that I should be eating. So that's a piece of advice that I would give you. Make sure that you, that you're eating healthy. So we're gonna go into, we're gonna play a game before we get up out of here. We're gonna play a game. It's called Quick Blitz.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask you about 10 questions or so.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 2 answers.
Okay.
And I want you to answer one. Just pick one as fast as possible.
Okay.
Okay. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Summer or winter?
Winner.
Are you more of a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
In the NBA, which players are better, the Americans or the foreigners?
Americans.
Which coach is better, Steve Kerr or Tyronn Lue?
Steve Kerr.
So which one is more scarier, LeBron with Steph Curry's shooting ability or Curry with LeBron's athleticism?
LeBron with Steph Curry's shooting ability.
Who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron.
Okay, so I don't even have to ask you Kobe or LeBron. NCAA men's or NCAA women's best to watch?
Men's.
Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic?
That's tough. They play different. Probably Luka.
Okay, great answer, my guy. NBA playoffs or March Madness?
March Madness.
High school or AAU, which one is better?
That's tough. I might pick tie for that one.
So we're going to say a tie with that one. Which one tastes better, chicken or pizza?
Probably chicken.
Which one would you rather have, smelly armpits or bad breath?
Probably bad breath.
You answered the question.
I can stay far away from it, but I don't want to smell.
Luke Westerdale, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.